And I'm sorry, man. I'm done, Teddy, with this here, man. But in reality, the love of the game goes. This is why nobody watches the game as much as they used to. Viewership is down, and there's a reason why, because the game doesn't look like the game anymore. Basketball viewership is down until it gets to the playoffs. Basketball viewership is down, and the reason why it's down because people aren't looking at the same sport they're used to looking at.
Yeah.
Football views have grown a little bit, but they're starting to come back down again. Because now, if you on a quarterback, it's a penalty.
You on LeBron James as a foul.
Well, I mean, if you blow on LeBron James, his headline goes back. But
Oh
anywho,
my god.
uh, anywho, it is not the game as we used to see in Teddy. And Teddy, you're a baseball fan.
Yeah.
You love this sport, right? This is why you're the host of this right here. And I'm pretty sure, like, there are times when I watch the game and I get emotional because I'm like, this isn't the game that I love. And baseball, most people think, because my brother would tell you, because of my accolades in football. Most people, they think that football was my favorite sport, and football is not my favorite sport. My favorite sport is by far baseball, and the game that I love has changed so much.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it anymore.
It really has. Kind of crazy.
So this is where I kind of sort of disagree. When it comes to just how entertaining of it is now. I think it's becoming kind of sort of more entertaining because we're getting more, it's more hitting, it's more scoring and stuff like that. So it's kind of sort of what 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 the what the issue was for a while, because I mean, Tony, you're the reason why I became a baseball fan. That's be frank about that. But remember, I didn't watch it as much as you did, but I was a fan of the sport. And it wasn't until, was it a year or two ago, when the rules and stuff started changing, and you see the more scoring is going to happen, the more, you see more stolen bases happening now times. The only thing that I don't like is that the fact that with the rule change, you get a lot of injuries is happening now as well. So I think that's the one thing where I will agree, because it's now causing more of the players to get hurt more, because the pitchers are now, they don't have a lot of rest that they have in between pitches. So I get that part for sure. But as far as what you see, everything else, I see the I see where fans are like, all right, come on, it's like you taking away the fun, you're taking away the part of the game that I love the most. But if you look at it, sometimes the fun isn't necessarily what's helping the game improve. And the game is going to improve now because now you get to see that people, umpires make mistakes. So you want, more times than not, you want some of those mistakes to be corrected. That's almost like in football. You see now they are able to challenge defensive, flags, because sometimes they'll call them wrong. Same thing in basketball. Some things happen, they get challenges now. They didn't have that before. Yes, it takes some time away from the game, but it's helping improve it because now you're actually getting it right. And the thing is, do you want it to just be entertaining, or do you want it to get it right? So it's
So
kind of sort of
so
like
so here's what
balance.
I'll say this. Teddy, I'm sorry for jumping in. I know you're ready to go in here, but here's what I say. You're right. The injuries are the issue, right? The issue is the problem, but the problem also is the scoring, right? Because it's not real scoring; it's manufactured scoring, right? Now, the one thing that you probably don't know, but as a hitter, I was a switch hitter, right? So the one thing is that you adjust to the umpire. Each umpire has their own strike zone. It's not going to be the same because you got to think of height and things like that. They have their own strike zone. So this whole thing in there, you have to adjust to it. I want to say a word that I can't use on here, right? I want to use this word, but I can't use it. But the problem is that players in all the leagues have become a bunch of
I
what
know.
what women have.
I know.
Okay. All right. That's what they've become. So they want the game to be easier, right? Instead of developing the skills to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
These guys couldn't play back in the day. They couldn't play back in the day. NBA, football, baseball, they couldn't play back in the day. Now they got rules where you gotta, if you're interfering while he's sliding into the base, he's safe. What? What? That's my job. That's his job. His job is to block the play so he doesn't get there.
Yeah, that's true. That point I agree with. Like as far as that,
we're trying to make it safe because the cleats may heal them and they may injure the players. Well, you ain't worrying about the pitchers. You ain't worrying about the pitchers.
I feel that.
People to slide well.
I feel that, but my argument to that is, other than that part of the game, like what else of the scoring is skewed? Because you, at the end of the day, you still have to pitch well enough. You still got to be able to do that. And baseball is the hardest. And baseball is still the hardest sport when it comes to having to be able to do anything. So you still got to be able to do your job. So, and I don't think that they wouldn't be able to play back in the day. That to me is I'm gonna disagree with that, especially when it comes to basketball and football, because if you look at how they are now, they're a lot faster, they're a lot stronger, and more players now are skilled than what they were before. So it's not
because you can go to the paint and actually go to the paint and play in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Shaq would foul out in the first quarter in this league. And the reason why is because of how aggressive he was and because of how big he was. They would look at it as if it's an offensive foul every single time. Not that he's a skilled player that's just using his gift, his God-given gift, to create room for himself. They wouldn't be able to do this.
They don't call that in the NBA much now.
They do.
No, the reason why I'm gonna say that, and Teddy knows why I'm going to say this, because his team does this often. But his star players, every single time, they're pushing off every single time, and they don't call it. They don't call it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there was an intent for that.
That's not all the way true.
This is an asterisk for me.
It's true at a point for some players, but it's not all the way true.
So this is an asterisk for me for the Celtics win this year. Sorry, Teddy. All right, sorry, Teddy. But this is an asterisk.
You never came into the chat after. How's the dust? How's the
you said what now? How's what?
How's the dust?
We were in. I was going through some stuff at the time, Teddy. But yeah, congratulations on that right there. We gave you like 3 of those games, but congratulations on the sweep. But what I'm saying to you is, like, even in our games right there, it was like it seemed like an intent for them to win. Right, the referees' calls were really the referees' calls are really weird, right? They were really weird. There were some phantom calls that I saw going on, which was really weird in that game. But I still don't think. Come on, man. Do you think that LeBron James could have played against the Pistons with the Jordan rules?
Yeah.
No, he'd have cried. He'd have cried and took his basketball and went home.
Tony,
he couldn't play in that, bro.
You have to think about.
Bro, he let 38-year-old Jason Kidd when y'all played them in the finals.
You have to think
Jason
about this,
Kidd. He posted up Jason Kidd in the paint and threw the ball out, and everybody's excited. Oh my God, he got a triple double during the game. Dwayne Wade missed a quarter and a half and still outscored him.
But that's because the rules that's how it is now. He would have adjusted back then because the mentality was different, Tony. The mentality back then was different. The mentality now is they don't care. They let the players do what they want. That's why LeBron does that. Not only LeBron, Luka does it. James Harden does it. All the star players do it, Tony. Giannis does it. They all do it, Tony. But if they were back then,
he was the guy that threw the ball into the corner against the Celtics.
Mentality would have been different because they would have been in the era. What they would have been taught growing up would have been different, Tony. That's why.
He doesn't have that, but he doesn't have a mind. He never had that mindset. He was never that guy.
It would have changed if he was back then.
Kobe,
it would have changed if he was back then.
Here's what I'll tell you: Kobe could have played back in the day.
Of course, Kobe came up in the middle of that. Tony, Jordan was still in the league when Kobe came up. He learned from Jordan. He had that. LeBron did not have that
mentality. Anyway, we're talking about baseball. We'll have this off here because this is Teddy's show. We're going off onto a tangent about some other stuff here.
We did. Sorry,
but baseball in itself, man, has lost its luster to me, and it has made it, and it is a shame that the game has turned out the way it has, where scoring instead of skills are celebrated more. You know what I'm saying? Scoring is celebrated more than skills. You don't have to be skilled to play baseball anymore. You still got to be able to hit the ball. They still have to hit the ball, but you don't have to be skilled to play anymore because the rules have changed so much where all you have to do is cry, and a call gets changed. Now, I will say there was one umpire that apparently he was like Red Fox and Della Reese and what's the movie Hollow Knights? He was like them where they were sitting at the thing like this. My man couldn't see a pitch to save his life. I'm glad he retired.
He was forced to retire.
Yeah, he had no choice for it because it was too many videos. Too many videos on YouTube.
Bro, they told him you need to be gone. Bro. It's a wrap.
Hey, so you remember that severance package we were talking about beforehand?
Literally.
Here you go.
Here you are.
We're gonna give it to you a little early this time. We think you've done a great service for us. It's about
it was kind of like Joe Gibbs in the final years when he coached the Redskins the second time, right? Because they were like, is he still trying to do the power toss? Hey Joe, here you go. Go be an executive.
Go focus on NASCAR racing. We got you. We got everything on.
But damn, that was that got a little heated, and I love it. That both sides definitely brought up some good points there.
This is what we do as brothers.
Oh yeah,
we always find a way to debate.
Oh yeah. I definitely have to agree with Tony about the scoring, and I mean, I wouldn't say you don't have to be talented to play the game, but I definitely see why he says that. But I mean, it's definitely, and then now they're talking about bringing robot umpires into the league, and it's like,
yeah. See, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. That's no.
What are we doing?
That's a little too much.
I want to be able to turn around to this old umpire that just made a terrible call and let him know he just made a terrible call. Like, what are we gonna do now? Talk to her? You're gonna put it in your little Apple Watch? Bad call. Like, is that what you're gonna do? Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's the deal with that.
That robot gonna turn around and whoop you all.
Man, that would be hilarious.
But man, that was a great show. That was a great show.
Man, look, 2 hour show. We got 14 people watching right now, so
yep.
It definitely was a great show.
Oh yeah. All right, you guys.